Joffrey was just he was nuts. He was a child. Essentially he was like a little sociopath. And then he was given, the keys to the kingdom. He was literally made the king of, the Seven Kingdoms. What'd you say? What, Lannisteria? Shut up. Don't talk right now, please. You don't have to talk all the time. Sometimes just listen. Sometimes just Lannisteria.
This is Geek Off The Street, your go-to channel for all things from obscure geekdom to modern-day pop culture and everything else in between. What's up, everybody?
It's that time again.
Yes,
Here we are.
Here we are. It's your favorite time of week.
Right, back by popular demand.
Yeah. It's our favorite time of week also.
Amen.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
So, who are we?
Tell them who you are.
Oh, yeah. My name's Trent.
Yeah, my name is Marc. I was trying to copy you.
I almost said Mark when I was saying it. By accident, I was like, did I forget my name for a second?
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, right? But anyway, this is the greatest podcast of all time called
Geek Off The Street.
We talk about pop culture, geek culture, and whatever else we want.
Amen.
And
that's
today
the big
is
one.
no exception.
Right.
Yeah.
that's the new extra thing, too.
Yeah, because
today is no exception.
Yeah. Right? And then really it justifies what we talk about all the time.
Yeah. Let everybody know.
Yeah. But yeah, this week, it's an awesome episode of Geek Off The Street.
Yes.
We are finally bookending.
Oh, boy.
We are bookending a part one that we had started years ago.
Yeah, it was episode 25.
Episode 25,
something.
yeah. We had episode 25. Shout out to our guest then, which is Keith.
Keith. What's up, man?
Are we doing well, man? I talked to him a little bit here and there. So
nice.
He's doing all right.
Right on.
We went to El Monte, though, so he's a little bit farther now. But we're trying to hang out sometime soon.
Nice, Keith.
Yeah.
Whenever you want to be on the show, man.
Yeah, anytime you want to come back. But he was on the first one where we did our favorite superheroes.
Yes. Good show.
Yeah, that was a good episode. I just listened to it today, and it was a good one. Yeah. And then we today we did say in that episode we're gonna bookend it. You said that we're gonna bookend it with the villains episode,
right?
And we just never got back to it.
And here we are, almost 100 episodes later. Almost.
Like just shy of 100 episodes later, bookending that episode.
Right.
We're gonna talk about our favorite villains.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we're men of our words.
Exactly.
So we're gonna bookend it.
Yeah. We never said when.
Yeah.
So it's your fault for assuming we're gonna get to it sooner.
And you know what happens when you assume. So
yes.
I'm not gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. Before we get into that though, how are we doing this week and what are we drinking?
Yes, the drink is pretty good. I did not mix it because if anybody saw the last episode, the mixing went a little bit off the grid.
It's a little wonky.
Yeah, a little wonky.
Too bad though. Yeah.
Turn it back over to Trent, and Trent mixed it up. And what is it? A kryptonite?
This is the kryptonite. Yeah.
Nice. A little bit of Midori.
A little bit of Midori, some Sprite.
Yes.
Or a lemon lime drink.
Right, and a little bit of rum.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you can see the
super simple.
Yeah, you'll see the recipe will be in the short video we do for it. But this is pretty good. A little melony, but not too bad. Yeah. So cheers to that.
Bam. Now listen to us drink.
Yeah. It is a good summer drink, though. Melon's a good, I think, summer flavor. So.
Right.
Yeah. Surprising, though, it's not that hot here in Southern California, which is weird.
I'll take it.
For this time of year, but I love it.
I'll take it, yeah.
I love the, what they call the June glooms in the morning.
Right, yeah.
The overcast.
Anything's going to keep the sun off of us?
Yeah, it's been real nice. I like it.
Because our summers go into November sometimes.
Yeah.
So
sometimes farther, man. I think.
Yeah.
Last Christmas was like 75 degrees, man. So and it's been like that for years.
Yeah, not a good time.
Not great.
Not a good time.
Makes it hard watching Christmas movies when it's like hot outside.
Yeah, when you're fanning yourself.
Yeah, I can't bundle up and drink hot cocoa when I'm watching the freaking
right, you're
Christmas
just in
story.
your underwear watching. Yeah.
Sweating your junk off. Yeah, trying to watch Christmas movies.
Everybody take a second and take that visual in.
Yeah.
Give you time.
Savor it.
Right. Okay, now back to reality.
But otherwise, this week I had nothing crazy. Just worked a lot.
Right
on. Burned out from work, but we're doing some cool things.
Yes, right on.
Which I'm excited about.
That's what it is.
We're doing some planning for that too as well, for some great future things we have coming up.
Yes.
And I'm getting more and more excited the closer we get to that.
Right, same here. Same here. More ideas that we think about,
more ideas,
getting
more
put
stuff.
into it. Yeah, some really good ideas. So
all kinds of things coming up. So I think,
we're excited about that.
Exactly. So
right.
That's keeping me alive.
Yeah. No, I can dig it, man.
Yeah.
I can dig it. I think there are probably a lot of people out there that just have that secret hope or that hope.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you're living for. That's what's pushing you through. So
exactly. Yeah.
Struggling dreamer, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's
beautiful.
Thank you,
Thought
man.
I wasn't paying attention. Who's got you, man? Who's got you? Come on.
Thank you, Marc.
Come on. So this week for me, what I do, I normally don't do this too much, but I actually kind of cook dinner for myself, which was interesting. I actually ordered one of these from one of these food places.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They ship you everything.
Like a HelloFresh type thing or whatever.
Super easy. Everything's already there. So all you got to do is just pretty much chop it up, throw it in the pot. You got to pay attention a little bit, but it came out really well.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Did that. That was fun.
Yeah, those are pretty good, those pre-cooked meals.
Yeah. They're not too bad.
Pre-cooked, but assembled.
Yeah, everything, all the ingredients are right there, and they tell you exactly what to do with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've probably got maybe a dozen things I can make from scratch that's pretty decent. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I think they're all over the place. I got a great meatball recipe, and I got a great grits recipe.
Still waiting for the grits.
Yeah, one day. One day. There's a lot of people waiting, but the grits, the meatballs, I figure that's not a good combination.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
But and then as my friend Jerry, it was his birthday. Well, we celebrated it yesterday.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know when it actually is. I'm not a good friend. But we did celebrate yesterday. I had a good time. So,
nice.
Jerry, happy birthday
Jerry.
again. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Nice.
It was a little house party thing, so it was cool.
Cool. That was a fun time.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
Solid,
Getting to hang out with some people that I normally don't get to hang out with outside of work kind of thing. So.
Always a good time.
Yeah,
I dig it. Very cool. Couple shout outs, I guess?
Yes, do just a couple.
Yeah, we got a couple of followers on Instagram. Well, first and foremost, thank you guys for checking out our content. We've been trying to pump everything out as much as we can daily, so thank you guys for checking it out, watching, liking, sharing, all that good stuff. Not very many of you sharing though, just throwing it out there. You guys
so
can share.
Step your stuff up.
Step it up,
I forgot about the whole 15 minutes.
There you go, yeah. But shouts to a messy Trevor.
A messy Trevor?
A messy Trevor is following us.
I like it.
And Gripworks Racing and Theo Efsenol, two different accounts, but same person.
Okay.
Theo up in Washington. He's one of my Kenji's closest friends.
Oh, nice.
Theo started a company called Gripworks Racing, and it's basically those racing simulators where it's like you have the whole setup. It's like a giant TV. You're in a car seat and the wheel and the shifter and everything. It's all like a super realistic simulation of a racing thing. And he started that business when I was up there. He only had one of them in a garage kind of thing, and that was his business. And then it's kind of been growing a lot.
Nice.
It's actually gotten really popular. So he has 3 or 4 of those machines now on the location and everything. So he's doing pretty well. He does a lot of racing events and stuff too. And he's it's a good idea.
That'd be perfect. Yeah, take that. I mean, I don't know how easy it is to transport that, but take it to races.
He takes races to people. It seems like he's doing really well. And he does he races go-karts and stuff too, I think. And I think Gripworks is his company, and that's
wow.
Gripworks. So
that sounds super cool.
It's pretty cool, man. And Theo, Kenji will attest to this, that Theo is a great guy, but has a lot of harebrained schemes growing up. And you're okay, this is never gonna work. This one seems to be doing really well.
Nice.
And he's I think a great choice of this one.
Wow.
So thanks for following us, dude. Theo, hope you're doing well, man. If you're listening to this, man, great job up there, dude.
Man, I'm curious how that works. He built the whole apparatus himself. He hired people to build certain things.
No, it's there's basically super high end arcade games.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. So kind of.
I don't know if I'm not sure how he built himself. I don't think he built anything himself, but he's
the brains behind it.
Yeah, he started the business though. His brick and mortar business is a racing simulation store basically. So I don't think he didn't build any of that equipment and stuff, but it's that's his company. It's just essentially an arcade kind of, but just more high end with very realistic simulated driving.
Interesting.
It's
Very
pretty,
cool,
pretty
man.
I tried it out. It's pretty cool. I
Nice.
suck at driving, so I'm not a driver. I'm not a racer.
I'll say, what's your job? Your job working around vehicles?
Oh yeah, this is my job driving a truck. Yeah, I drive for a living, but yeah, that's really assuring for everybody else on the road, right? But yeah, that's it for followers. So thank you guys checking us out.
Right
Appreciate
on,
it.
right
yeah.
on.
Any shots, Mark?
No, not at all.
None. All
None.
right.
You get none.
Sounds good. All right. Let's get into this episode then. Just a recap. So I listened to the episode 25 where we talked about our favorite superheroes.
Yes.
Obviously, I'm a big fan of the Superman family.
Yep.
Superman in general. I talked about the Red Hood. Mostly DC characters. I think I said are my favorite heroes. Huh?
A lot of them. Yeah, I can't think of any other ones. Yeah, I think they're mostly DC.
Yeah. I guess.
We started talking about a lot. So.
Yeah, kind of.
It was a good
conversation.
Talk,
yeah. Superboy was a big one. Supergirl. Basically, the Superman family is huge. Yeah. So we talked about that. You had a couple that you talked about as well.
Yeah.
And then Keith and RJ were there as well.
Yeah.
So they had a lot to say. And but I guess we're just picking up from there, huh?
Right. Yeah. So did you want to?
I guess I'll kick it off.
Okay.
This one's gonna go hand in hand with my favorite superhero, Lex Luthor. Was one of my favorite villains for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
One, it's the classic brains versus brawn, right?
Yeah.
He has no powers. He has no abilities per se, but he's a genius. He's one of the smartest people on the planet.
Right.
I'm not sure where they rate him out as on the planet, but smartest or of the smartest people on the planet.
He's definitely up there, right?
Yeah. And he's but the cool part about him is how strong and kind of stalwart he is and forceful. He seems like a regular, not really regular, but he's like a businessman, it seems like on the outside. And he seems like a straightforward kind of guy, but he is maniacal, which is what I love, that he has those really odd things about him, how hyper focused he is on kind of weird idealistic things like Superman, Superman being a problem. That's such a insane thing, thought to have, that comes from a crazy person, deep down, I think. So he has this kind of dual personality that adds a little bit of extra depth to it. And I think, and a lot of people aren't going to agree with this, but why I liked Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor and Batman vs Superman is that it showed that side. It showed more of the erratic, kind of manic, kind of maniacal side of him.
Yeah, interesting.
The obsessive kind of issue. Because I think the animated series, Lex Luthor's real kind of stalwart and real.
Just about every other one, actually.
Yeah,
is
really.
Pretty,
basically. Except maybe Gene Hackman was a little bit more.
Yeah, he kind of got eccentric at some times.
Eccentric,
I wouldn't. He definitely wasn't
Yeah, my image of him I think Kevin Spacey felt mostly like the animated version to me,
right?
Because Kevin Spacey
very calm and cool,
kind of calm and cool, but sinister as well,
right.
But I liked that Jesse Eisenberg showed that side, that second part of, because Lex Luthor is both. Yeah, he's both. He's insane. He's maniacal, but he's also very straightforward and very composed.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's why Lex Luthor's. I think he's a great. That's why he's a great match for Superman, because he's like the
Joker to.
Yeah, exactly.
In a sense.
Yeah, in a sense, kind of the opposite to Superman in almost all ways.
Yeah.
Which makes it an interesting match, I think. Yeah. I don't know. I enjoy Darkseid. I enjoy Zod. I really like Darkseid a lot also as well, but. Yeah. And then Zod, Man of Steel in the movie specifically. I like those characters because they can go pound for pound. They can fight and they can physically fight them, which makes for it's exciting battles and that kind of stuff. Right. But Lex Luthor, the brain side of things, makes it a little bit different. Yeah. And I think not necessarily more interesting, but a different dynamic as far as the villain goes.
It's interesting too, because Superman could defeat him instantly.
Yeah.
Completely just erase him from existence.
Yeah.
Instantly, without, you know what I mean? It'd take a second to do, half a second.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. I won't say he can't.
Yeah.
Morally, he can't, and he won't.
Right.
So that's another thing about it too. You've got this guy that is so much more infinitely powerful than the other guy, but he can't, quote unquote, beat him.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? He can't just kind of finish him.
And Lex Luthor knows that.
Yeah.
He used that against him. That's one of his weaknesses.
Yeah, he'll be up in his face talking shit to him.
Because he knows he's not going to do anything to him.
Right, dude, you're right.
Yeah, you're really full of yourself, man. Really arrogant. Yeah,
it's interesting with Lex Luthor, because his motivations for his hatred of Superman is changed throughout time.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like in the comic book when he first came about, the backstory that they came up with, and I don't know how many people might know this. You probably know it already. Like the old backstory is that they were friends.
Oh yeah,
And you
yeah.
know, like I said,
Yeah.
this is back in like either the golden age or silver age of comics. But they were friends, and through some sort of accident, you know, Superman or maybe Superboy at the time was trying to save him. Something went off, and he ended up losing his hair.
Right, yeah.
And he got mad at him.
Blamed him for
Yeah,
it, basically,
for becoming bald. And I guess maybe back in the 50s, early 50s, late 40s, being bald was just it was a terrible thing apparently.
Yeah.
Because like, oh, you took away my hair, how can I live?
Right.
I'll destroy you now.
Yeah.
But then later and even all the characters, all comic characters typically, especially if they have this much time, they all evolve. You know, they get better, they get more elaborate, more realistic. And I think it was interesting that they kind of said well, I know with Eisenberg, it was about him being like this God type character. And I can't remember if it was like, we don't need a God or we don't need.
It was kind of more of he's like obsessed with proving that there's no such thing as all good and all powerful.
Oh yeah.
Right. And kind of trying to disprove or trying to bring to light the faults of the idealism of Superman, I think, the perfection, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's what was obsessed with. That nobody can be that way, so I'm going to be the one to prove it.
Prove it, yeah.
Which is obsessive, which is
right,
great though, you know. But
and I know I think in the animated series or maybe one of the different movies, they kind of talk about maybe not quite that exact same thing, but it was about, you know, Superman being this ultimate being, and like, we don't need an ultimate being. We got ourselves. We need you know what I mean? There are all these different reasons I don't know, it's interesting to not like Superman, to not like a God, to not like God kind of thing.
Yeah.
Wow, this is really getting interesting. So now it's actually kind of turning into, I mean, maybe it is like this whole man versus, you know, I don't want to say God, but a God kind of thing. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
you know, that pushback.
Kind of, because for him to get where he is on his own merit.
Right.
And like to see how far mankind has come based on like as humans. Like,
based on themselves, right.
And then all of a sudden there's this super powered guy that doesn't have to do anything like that.
That's saving you, you know.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need you to save us, we'll save us.
Right, yeah. Maybe it's kind of like it's cheating. Like it's pushing like humankind forward when that's the standard now.
Right.
Not a hardworking human being or whatever the whatever the case
No.
is.
That's right in a sense, because even when you look at Watchmen, right, at the end of that movie, end of the comic book, like there's world peace, but it's not a world peace that had been achieved. It was a world peace that humanity was tricked into. We didn't earn it. It was kind of forced upon us.
Right, yeah.
So it's interesting. Like it's a really interesting dynamic that having peace and then earning it, you know, what's more important, which is the better one.
Yeah.
Some people might look at the bottom line and be like, we got peace, so who cares?
That goes my advice, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not real. If it's based on something, it's based on a lie, it's based on something false.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a really interesting man versus God kind of thing.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not turning anything religious. So I'm thinking more of a, you know, even in, you know, Greek mythology, you know, same thing. There were stories of man versus God. There was one of the characters that you know, with the Greeks attacked Troy when he's coming back home.
Yeah.
His name was Lesser. I want to say Little Ajax, because there was Ajax, the big guy. Then there was another guy named Ajax as well. Okay. I believe it happened to him where something happened with the ship and it sank and he went down and he fought to get out and he made it. And he, like, in a storm, and he climbed up to a rock or whatever, and he was safe. And just celebrating, you know, in jubilation was like, even the gods can't kill me, because he made it. And then Poseidon sent a wave, knocked him down, and dragged him down and killed him. So, again, it's kind of like this man versus, ultimate power, maybe authority, outside authority kind of thing.
Oh, I see.
Really interesting.
Oh, yeah,
really
I see.
interesting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It makes sense for sure.
Yeah. All right, man. Yeah. Good choice.
Yeah, that was
nice.
a good little discussion.
Because I didn't mean to talk about that much, but even with Lex, I like Lex Luthor, but he always bugged me in the sense for those reasons that I just said, because Lex Luthor is, he's just some guy. And when he builds a machine or a giant robot that can fight Superman, I'm like, you can't build a machine that can fight Superman,
Yeah.
I maybe need to think of it more of like a Tony Stark kind of thing. Tony Stark has his Iron Man suit and he can fight other bad guys in it.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not like, overpower them, some of them, but he can fight them.
Yeah.
So maybe it's kind of the same thing. I feel like just Superman is like,
so powerful though.
Exactly. But I mean, I know he's pulling his punches and blah blah blah. But
so even if his like suit is like the kryptonite powered suit, like Superman can fly at a fast enough speed to where even if it starts to affect him,
right? That drives me nuts.
Yeah.
They never. I don't know if the writers or whatever, they don't. To me, I'm like, if I know this guy's got kryptonite or I suspect him of having kryptonite, I'm going to just go into orbit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take him out from orbit. I'm going to heat vision, pinpoint,
throw
whatever.
An asteroid at him.
Call
something. Any other superhero.
Hey, maybe get some lead.
Yeah.
Something, anything. Yeah, they never.
It's not very creative.
They never do that. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm never really ever into like Lex Luthor also being strong, like or in the machine or whatever, trying to fight him like hand to hand. I don't think that's ever interesting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Whatever.
Whatever.
You want to go to any you got or?
Let me see. You know what? I am going to go to one because, and this is going to fit right in with what you were saying about Superman.
Yeah.
One of my favorite villains, and not because he's necessarily anything really great, I think it's more because of what he represents, is Doomsday.
Oh, yeah.
I like Doomsday, again, because what he represents against Superman or to Superman. Very good friend of mine, Gus. Gus, what's up?
Gus.
He's not a big Superman fan just because he's so OP'd, right? Yeah. So, and in a sense, I can get that. He can just, defeat everybody or whatever. But my thing is always, again, he can't just defeat everybody because he would have defeated Lex permanently a long time ago. So the thing that I liked about Doomsday is it was, and I think I might have said this to you once before too.
Yeah.
That it was an opportunity to show the caliber of Superman, the real caliber of Superman. Because yes, he's stronger and more powerful than, 99.9% of the people that he comes across. But this was the first time you really saw him put to the test. And again, it's a story and he's the hero of it, so I get it or whatever. But I like it because it showed when the time came for him to really put up.
Yeah.
That he held his ground. He held the line, he stood his ground, and he didn't back down from this threat that had taken out a bunch of other heroes. Yeah. In the comic book, he's on a rampage and he's going
JSA.
He's going through all of them. He's going through all of them. And then there's a part where Superman first encounters him and he kicks Superman in the stomach and just like knocks the wind out of him.
Oh yeah.
And he gets up and is like, I've never been hit that hard before. He's like saying that, thinking that to himself.
Yeah.
And so he ends up going to Metropolis, of course, his city. Right. And he says, this is where it ends. I'm drawing the line right here, right now, where it's going to end here. And my brother had a good point. That fight with him was basically a guy with claws, with knives, up against a guy using his fist.
Right.
Went toe to toe with him. And again, the whole point of it is he held his ground. And it's your classical hero thing. It's almost like Beowulf kind of thing.
Right.
When Beowulf went up against Grendel, he just went toe to toe with him. And Grendel was this creature that was like just literally just killing and eating the best heroes, and then Beowulf comes in and like, we're just go hand to hand. And he wins and he beats him, So that's what I like best about Doomsday, and his backstory and all that kind of stuff is very interesting.
Yeah. The way he's created, yeah. Pretty effed up back.
Yeah. He every time he gets destroyed, essentially, like he just regenerates and comes back that much stronger and that much better. Like whatever beat him before is like he almost kind of adapts to it.
Exactly.
And, you know. So, and I think he when he first came about, he came across like Doomsday fought him. Darkseid.
Oh, Darkseid.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think Darkseid fought him. I think he might have kind of beat him back. I'm not sure how he ended up on Earth. I don't remember exactly, but
they get into it too. Just like travel.
But the funny thing is, like when he came back to life again and was fighting Superman, it was like, you know, great. Now this guy can do even more shit, and I'm not even at 100%.
Right. Yeah.
But to me, it was your great classical hero moment that Superman rose up to. You know? So that's what I like about Doomsday.
Yeah,
that's why he's one of my favorites.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna get into this is probably gonna spark another long discussion.
No, it's not. I'm gonna be very calm.
Or maybe I'll say this one for last then, because just in case. I just have a couple that I'm just gonna throw in there that are some of my favorites. Obviously, like Sephiroth.
I was gonna say him too, right? Yeah, Final Fantasy.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 7. I think his who he is, where he's from, and when he learns about that, it drives him into madness, into this kind of crazy crusade, basically. To kind of, I guess, pay back, you know, the people that created him, or whatever the case was. I think his whole thing is pretty interesting. And there's a lot of depth to Final Fantasy 7 in the story, I think, which was kind of groundbreaking at the time, especially the gameplay and the story, all that kind of stuff combined, and then just how interesting he was as a villain. I really like Sephiroth, and then he's just a badass. He's like a badass, super strong, the longest sword ever.
And somehow he can fight with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like zero defense capability, but
but he just need it because everything's a one-shot kill. But then so that's one of them. Then Mr. Glass from Unbreakable. That's like he's similar to Lex Luthor. In the ways that he's smart, very intelligent. But he's like the polar opposite of Bruce Willis's character. And I think I love his whole. It's kind of crazy, but his whole reason for trying to find Bruce Willis is to find his purpose. But the things that he does to get there is obviously what makes him a criminal. Killing hundreds and thousands of people to find this other person that he believed existed, just to give him purpose in life and to I guess validate who he is. And that was kind of an interesting thing. And the other Split was good too, but the last movie, Glass, was horrible.
Not so much.
Not so good. But and then like an honorable mention that I wanted to thought there was Zabuza from Naruto.
That's cool.
He's like in the very beginning, he's not in the grand scheme of things, he's not powerful compared to everybody else going through. But Zabuza, for some reason, I just always remember him. It was a time that I was watching Naruto. It was the time when I was reading it, and it was that whole fight and sequence, everything in that arc is pretty awesome, especially if it's the first time you're watching and going through at the time. And Zabuza, I thought it was just a really cool character. He's like a really cool bad guy, and he comes off as just this really like violent, doesn't care about anybody, only wants to kill.
Right.
And you kind of find out that later he does kind of care about.
Haku at the very end.
So I thought that's just, I don't know. Zabuza was kind of like a, I don't want to say guilty pleasure villain, but like I've always liked him.
I like Zabuza too. He was the cool thing, and one of the cool things that I liked about him was when he fought Kakashi. You know, he seemed like he's able to kind of go toe to toe with him a little bit. And the first time they meet, he gets beat. And you're thinking like, oh, you know, Kakashi, he's the hero. You're the bad guy. He's gonna beat you up all the time. But then when he comes back later, he's like, I figured out your trick. I know how your shit works. And I was like, oh, dang, he does. He's like, don't look in your eyes. I'm going to create some mist so you can't use. And he figured out, what he did with his technique. So I do like those stories where it shows the villain is not just essentially reacting. to everything. He's like, okay, I know what you did. I know, and we didn't know this as the audience or whatever.
Right.
But he's like, yeah, I know what you did. You hypnotized me, and everything you did was just like it was a split second behind.
Yeah.
Or everything I was doing, it seemed to me like it was a split second behind. So when I was about to do a technique, you're already doing it ahead of me. You're messing with my mind. Yeah. Normally, that kind of breakdown is reserved for the hero.
Yeah.
The hero figures out what the bad guy did, and then he gets them.
The next time. Yeah, which is great because, like, and Kakashi's my favorite character, I think, in Naruto. I think still. I haven't gotten all the way to Shippuden yet, but Kakashi's my favorite character, I think. And that, when you first see him, the first time he fights, I was, you see that where it's like he's like preemptive. He's like, wait, how is he casting it before I'm even casting
it? He's badass.
Yeah, he's like, I was like, dude, this guy's the greatest guy ever.
Right.
And he still is. He's my favorite character. But yeah, when you find out that he figures out his trick, it's like, oh, he's not the top, not necessarily the top guy, you know.
But that made me like him that much more because he was just another guy using techniques.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Really good at his technique. Yeah,
right. He's just really good at it.
And they obviously worked a lot on probably different guys over the past.
Exactly.
Yeah, and to meet someone that didn't fall for it or
figured it out. Yeah, because normally somebody at that point probably would have been dead.
It's done. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So normally they don't get a second chance.
Right. Yeah. So that was cool. That was an honorable mention. Yeah.
Right on. I respect that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since we are jumping into anime, let me start off with, for everyone that is watching on YouTube, you've noticed our centerpiece here, right? And for those that are listening on Spotify, it is, or whatever you're listening on, I take that back. Whatever you're listening on, we respect all streaming services.
Wherever you're listening to us, yeah.
It is the mask from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes.
Right. Essentially in the first season, they had these stone masks, and we have it here because it is the mask of the main villain throughout most of the series, Dio Brando.
Okay.
Or Dio, as he's ultimately called. I hate Dio. He is such a effing piece of shit. I was trying not to cuss. Are we at the 15-minute
We're way past
15
minutes.
We're way past it. Great. I'm gonna cuss my brains out. I fucking hate this guy. He's all right. All right, so listen.
Paint the picture because I don't know who this guy is.
Okay, let me paint the picture. Yeah. Okay, so the story starts off, it takes place like in, I want to say 1890 something, 1890, 1895, England.
Yeah.
It starts off with this family was in a terrible accident. They were riding their carriage, they fell over, whatever, and they're all dead basically.
Yeah.
Right? So this guy and his family come up, and he's just some piece of shit. He's like, oh, look at these guys are some rich guy just fell and died. I'm gonna go take all their stuff.
Oh yeah.
And he proceeds to start robbing this guy. Or he starts, this father figure. But the father's not dead. He wakes up and he's like, oh, you're trying to help me. And the guy's like, oh yeah, sure, I'm trying to help you.
Oh yeah.
So what ultimately happens is the father lives, the son lives, the mother doesn't make it. Right? So the father and the son, they go back to their rich estate. They're living their lives. He's a good kid, forthright, blah, 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 all that good stuff. The jerk that was trying to rob him, his son is about the same age. Okay. And he promised, like, when your son gets old enough or whatever, you ever need anything, come to me, I'll be your benefactor, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I think the father dies, or Dio might have killed him because he's that much of a dick.
Damn.
So he goes and lives with JoJo. That's his name.
JoJo's the kid, the rich kid.
JoJo is the rich kid, the good kid. And he's like this evil, stepbrother kind of thing, where he torments him, he treats him like crap. His dad doesn't know anything. He's JoJo's father just thinks this is a great kid because in front of him, he's well-mannered, well-spoken, good grades, all this kind of junk.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember what happens ultimately, but like he is essentially like a little psychopath. He's always torturing people, torturing animals, torturing girls, anybody weaker than him, anybody that he can bully. So his father, when they had the accident in the first place, he had this suitcase, and inside of it was the mask, the stone mask.
Okay.
What happens is he has it hanging up on the wall. For whatever reason, Dio takes it, steals it, whatever, puts it on. And the stone mask is ancient, and it turns him into a vampire. It corrupts him and turns him into a vampire.
He's already corrupt, so.
He's already corrupt, right?
Yeah.
He's already a dick. He's already, he's strong. He's smart, all this stuff. So now you've taken this, by this time he's an adult. So he's dangerous. He's trouble. Jojo, he comes across these guys that are looking for the stone mask kind of thing. And they train him how to basically use something called hormone, which is a power that it's like a life power.
Okay.
And is deadly to vampires.
Yeah.
So anyways, to kind of wrap things up, Dio ends up like being mortally wounded by Jojo. Jojo like beats him, right? But he's not quite dead, because he's a vampire. He does something where he severs his head. He only has his head left. He has his henchmen. His henchmen end up Dio in this last ditch effort, like kind of like he kills Jojo. He ends up killing him. And what he does is he takes over his body. So years go by, generations go by. So now Jojo, the main character, like I said, he's dead, but his grandson is now the protagonist of this. It's all part of the first arc, actually.
Jeez, okay.
Yeah, I know, right? It's pretty elaborate, right? So anyway, so now Dio comes back. So no. I take that back.
Still in Jojo's body?
Yeah, he still got Jojo's body. But before that, when Jojo's grandson, his name is Joseph Joestar, when he was a young man, he fought the guys that kind of created the stone mask. They were a bunch of vampires, a bunch of like uber super vampires.
Gotcha.
So they end up getting defeated. And then he gets older. Joseph Joestar is older. Now the story takes place in the 80s, right? So we've gone from like it with
100 years.
Yeah, it starts off with Jojo or whatever his name is, Jonathan. I can't remember his name. The original guy. His grandson is like 60 years old at this point. It's in the 80s. And then it takes place with his son. But Dio comes back. They pull Dio up out of nowhere, and they feel it. So, anyways, it turns this thing where they got to go after Dio, and Dio he just ruins people's lives. I know I'm not describing it very well. So, if anybody out there is a JoJo fan, I love Joe. I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
It's a lot.
It's very entertaining, very creative how they get in and out of all these different battles and scrapes, and they come across these people that have like a separate power. It's called a stand eventually, where it's like a manifestation of your psychic energy. But it kind of creates this being that has different powers, but that being will fight for you, kind of thing. Or basically it does. You don't have a conversation with it, but you control it. So, but Dio ends up getting a stand. In addition to being a vampire.
Oh, nice. That's
so
fair.
and his stand has the power to stop time.
Oh, that's like
so it's like the worst. It's the worst thing, and he's just decimating everybody. And he's laughing about it the whole time. So he, like I said, just because he's such an asshole. To everybody, and he started out as a kid. Like I would love for him to have died, but the fact that he got beat and then he killed the hero. Took his body, and then you're going after his family.
Fucking
hate that guy. Hate that guy. But JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's very entertaining.
I want to check it out now.
It's actually really good. It's good. The first arc, the animation it's okay.
It's a little dated, right?
Yeah. I'm not even sure. I don't think it came out that long ago, but the way it's done, it looks very dated. But it's like I said, the adventure and how they get in and out of these different scrapes is the cool thing. But
right.
But yes, that is the whole point of the mask. Don't put that on unless you want to be a vampire.
I mean, I can live forever.
So that's Dio.
Nice.
Let me see. I'm going to go into another one he is also a super asshole. From a manga, an anime, a couple of different animes actually. There is an anime. It's one of the best ones. The manga is fantastic, called Berserk.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Now, people have probably seen, if you know anything about anime or whatever, you've probably seen some Berserk here and there. You've probably seen the characters. Maybe you've seen it, you didn't even realize that I've seen it in different memes. Yeah, you at least heard of it kind of thing. The bad guy in that, his name is Griffith. And the bad thing is he starts off kind of as a good guy. He starts off as like this, he seems like a kind of a noble guy.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a mercenary soldier for hire. He has a band of troops that he gets together, Band of the Hawk, I think they're called. And the main character, his name is Guts. He's had a terrible life. He was literally born from a dead woman. And his dad sold him for if somebody wanted to be with a child. That's where this story goes. It's very dark. It's very twisted. Yeah. So anyways, the main character his name is Guts, and he has just learned to fight naturally, right? Like he's got to, and he comes across Griffith, and by this point he's a young man. He's strong. He's powerful. He's beating the heck out of everybody.
Yeah.
And Griffith says, I want you on my team. And he says, like, bullshit, I'm not joining your team. I'm doing my own thing. You can beat me, I'll join your team. Griffith beats him. Yeah. It's like impossible. Like, how'd you beat this guy? He's good. But he does beat him, and they become friends. And so he's leading the band, and they're doing their thing. And then one day, after, just success after success after success, and they're moving up within the rankings of the kingdom that they're in. I want to say it's called Midland Kingdom.
Okay.
So he starts off as like a sellsword. He's got like a couple little troops. Yeah. But he pulls off great missions. So he's moving up the ranks, and like everybody's jealous of him, but he's moving up. Yeah. And one day Guts is like, you know what? You're moving up. You're doing your thing. I've been loyal to you. You're my friend. You're my best friend. But I gotta go do my own thing now. And he's like, okay, you got to beat me to do your own thing, right? But Guts has been on the front line fighting. He's like Vegeta. He's been on the front line fighting for a long time, right? Okay, yeah. So when Griffith fights him now, Guts beats him. And it's not even like, it's like, I'm trying to take it easy on you right now, big guy. Right. You're my friend. I don't want to hurt you. But it's very one-sided. And now Griffith, this guy that's incredibly smart, had all these different machinations going on to move up in the kingdom. His number one support, his number one fighter, and his best friend is walking away. Yeah. So now I don't know if it made him think like I need to push my plans forward, or he got desperate. I don't know what. But the princess of the kingdom was, kind of infatuated with him because he's, this handsome, heroic guy. Yeah. He seduces her. Well, I shouldn't say seduces. It's not like he, forced himself or whatever, but he ends up, having sex with her. Okay. The father, the king, finds out about it. The king apparently is like a low-key pedo. This story is so it gets really dark. And he ends up taking Griffith, and he basically tortures him. He tortures him, he mutilates him, and he's been gone, and the Band of the Hawk is like, where's our guy? So they end up finding Guts and like, hey, they've got Griffith somewhere. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna go, lead this mission to get my guy back. Yeah. So he leads in, he sneaks in, finds them. This from when he seduced the princess and got caught to when Guts rescues him, it's been maybe a year. Okay. So it's been a year of him being tortured relentlessly, him being mutilated. He's been pieces of him have been cut off. He's wasted away from this heroic guy to this decrepit skeletal looking creature. He's completely not the same guy. Yeah. And there's no way to go back to it. Right. But he always had this little thing with him. I can't remember what it's called, but it was some sort of little egg-shaped thing. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if this was part of his plan or if it was a backup plan, but he essentially makes a deal with not the devil, but devils. Okay. And what he ends up doing is he ends up selling out the Band of the Hawks. He sells them out to these demonic creatures, right? So once he sells them out, they look around and they're in an alternate dimension, right? So they're trying to run and get out of there because this thing is just attacking them and killing them. Yeah. there's nowhere to run because you're in like another dimension kind of thing. So you're running into the dimension, but somehow Guts and his girlfriend Casca are able to get away or whatever. But I think even before that, the demons, like, they accept his deal. They power him up. He basically, rapes Casca in front of him just because he knows that Guts and her are together. Yeah. And but somehow Guts and Casca get away. Casca goes crazy. She loses her mind. And Guts is basically trying to take care of her. But the thing that makes it so bad is once everything is said and done, Griffith is like, he's restored. He's this, beautiful champion. He takes over the kingdom. Everything is prosperous and everything's going well. All the Band of the Hawks, the original ones, have been sacrificed to whatever, demon or whatever.
His crew.
Yeah, his crew. But what makes it so crazy is the fact that, Griffith was he seemed like this noble guy, but when shit didn't go his way, he literally sold them all to hell.
Which he had that contingency the whole time.
Yeah, it seemed like he had it the whole time. He had this little weird emblem or this weird necklace that I can't remember. I don't want to say it because I know I'm going to say it wrong. Yeah. But I don't like him because he sold out his entire crew, all of his friends, just to get a second shot at power when he screwed it up in the first place, so
another great piece of shit.
If you read Berserk, it is 110% not for kids, 100% not for kids. I don't think the anime gets that crazy, I don't think, but the manga does. And I will say the artwork in it is fantastic, but all the stuff that I talked about right now is essentially it's in there. So again, not for kids, but if you can handle watching, like I said, all the stuff I talked about, there, I feel like I shouldn't even say it. It's so bad. There's sex, there's murder, there's demons, there's all kinds of crazy, whatever you can think can maybe happen. It's happened in this, and you don't know sometimes whether you want to cheer for Guts or you're pulling against them. Like, why did you do that? There's one thing that he does in there that's like, why did you do that? I was pulling for you the whole time, but you do this?
You're my guy,
You're my guy? Now I don't know. But it's a great story. Unfortunately, the artist and writer passed away we talked about it on the show, too.
Recently-ish.
Yeah, it might have been maybe a year or two, a year and a half ago kind of thing. So I think the story probably has come to a standstill. I would hope and pray that someone might pick up the notes and try to finish it. But like I said, the artwork is one of the best. I've been reading mangas since like the 80s, and this is one of the best illustrated ones I've ever seen. So it's sad that it's come to an early conclusion, but it's a great story though. I highly recommend it if you can handle that kind of thing. If you can handle something like Game of Thrones, think of Game of Thrones, think of it, in a manga, just well drawn. All that kind of stuff. So
solid.
Yeah. Did you have any other ones? Or
I had one more that I wanted to bring up. You actually pointed out to me, reminded me of how much I love this.
Okay.
But Agent Smith in the Matrix.
Agent Smith.
Yeah. Agent Smith is
creepy as.
Yeah, he's creepy. But he is. Maybe it's the performance from
the actor.
Oh, Jesus, his name. Yeah. I always remember his name every other time. But
I know. Right.
Yeah. Elrond from Lord of the Rings. Maybe it's his performance is also kind of like charismatic in some ways. Like
definitely.
Ways, yeah. It's kind of like you can't look away. You can't look away and you can't not listen to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Agent Smith, his whole arc really as like, it's so interesting.
Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving. There you go. Yes. Thank you, sir. That was gonna bother me for the rest of the show. But his whole arc, and his whole motivation, and how he gets from being a program, to like a transcendent kind of being, I guess. I don't remember what exactly it ends up becoming, but he ends up becoming like.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Like the god of this of the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
When he wasn't supposed to be,
right?
He was just a regular program, and that yeah, for him to be like you were saying earlier, to be kind of at the tipping point of what his capabilities are as a program, but always kind of be towing that line. And then you see more and more of that throughout, especially the first film, like when he doesn't have his earpiece on, and like the agents are like, "Why don't you have your earpiece in?" You know,
because you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing right now.
Exactly, yeah. And you're supposed to be following directives. You're created. You're a program, And to see him kind of toe that line, and then to finally break out of that, Neo actually breaking him out of that whatever that confine is that he's the construct he's stuck in, and freeing him essentially, like it was so interesting to see that, and then that's what he wanted, and then he kind of just wreaks havoc.
He consumes that world essentially.
I think all around from the actor's performance to his arc, his story arc. His character, what he is, what he does, it's such a great villain. So that's the example I was looking for. That kind of like, if I were to ever play a villain in a movie or a series, I would kind of play something like that. Something that's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know anything about Hugo Weaving as a person, but I imagine he had fun playing that role. Maybe I don't know.
I would think.
That's a fun role to play. Like Neo's role. I mean, it's pretty one note to me. To be like, I mean, Keanu Reeves, I love him, man. I love Keanu Reeves. I like most of his movies, but he's kind of one note in that movie. Hugo Weaving is the interesting one, man. I mean, Mr. Smith is the interesting one, I think. That's just I think it's phenomenal.
And I don't know if it's one of those things where like everything just worked out perfectly. It seems between whatever they might have wrote in the story, whatever the directors might have said, and then whatever the actor came up with and whatever he did, it all went together so perfectly. Because I can't even imagine, and I never really thought about it, because there's no point anybody else doing that role like he did. He nailed that so incredibly well, and what he ultimately, or whatever they collaborated and decided that he was going to do with that role. It was perfect, because he comes off as the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of Agent Smith is he's very creepy. And he's not supposed to be. You shouldn't be. You're a program. Like all of his other program homies were very matter of fact. You know, they were very by the book. They were very binary. They were do this, do that, do this, do that. There wasn't any emotion. There wasn't any whatever. But you saw that all the time with him. And even when he was, tucking in his coat or turning his head ever so slightly.
All the mannerisms.
The mannerisms were gold.
But even like that, in the fight, like the fight in the subway. He's always adjusting his suit and
and then he goes nuts.
It's just like, dude, this is it's great. It's fantastic. It's a spectacle. It's like impossible to look away from. All of those things falling into place, like you're saying, like they from casting to writing to all of it, it all was perfect. It all ended up working out perfectly, to the point where if it was a different actor or a different whatever, it could. If any one of those things, if any one of those things was different, it wouldn't have been as good as it was.
And it probably still would have been good, because I mean, Agent Smith was still. He seemed like he was a pretty interesting character, no matter what. But something about Hugo Weaving's performance just took it like just way beyond.
No,
I don't even understand how they talked and said, let's do this.
Like
how do you decide to say, I'm going to be this kind of crazy, but it's just the right crazy that's going to be perfect.
So I'm going to try to look up some stuff about maybe some interviews with him, but I want to see like how much, who did what. So was all that dialogue written perfectly and he did it exactly the way it was written? Was there some changes here and there? Were those mannerisms, was that all choreographed, or was that some stuff that he added, or I don't know.
It's got to be. I mean, it's got to be the act. Well, I don't know, but I would imagine a lot of it's got to be the actor. Some of it. I mean, because that's the whole point of being an actor is, whatever you put into it.
Bring
so I would hope.
You think. I mean, there's like. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get crucified. But The Big Lebowski, like that, like nothing in that movie was improv. Nothing. Like even like the stutters, the uhs and ahs and ums, that Jeff Bridges did.
Interesting.
That's like your opinion, man, or whatever. That all that was in the script. Like everything was exactly the way it was written.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh, the Coen brothers.
Yeah, the
How
Coen
did
brothers. Oh, you're trying to think of their name.
So I was
didn't
gonna
know.
get crucified
Okay.
by not knowing who did it. But yeah, the Coen brothers. Gosh damn it, that's anyway. So that there's those kind of directors, or like like David Lynch, or those kind of guys that are like, it's got to be exactly the way I write it and the way it needs to be. Or like, I think Tarantino's the same way.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how the Wachowskis were, but like I could have went either way. But either way, regardless, the performance was phenomenal.
Right.
Yeah, regardless of who brought what to the table, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Mr. Smith, that's probably one of my favorite villains.
Yeah.
I
Same
think.
here.
Yeah, from one of my favorite trilogies, I think.
Yeah,
I think I can say that. Yeah.
Trilogies.
The trilogy is phenomenal. Watch all of them.
All three of them.
And like, if anyone says anything about the special effects, it was fucking 2000, the early 2000s. Matrix was 1999, right?
It was. The first one.
So shut the fuck up, man. Like, if I hear one more thing about how dumb it looks when he flies, it was 1999,
right.
2000, 2001, maybe 2003, or was Revelations.
Yeah.
Like, shut up, man.
Yeah.
Like, they're great.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit that caught me by surprise too when I saw the flying scene, but I still love that movie. It's one of the you're missing the forest for the trees. If you're getting caught up on, the special effects in one or two spots, you're missing everything else going on with that story,
Right, yeah. You're missing the actual point of the movie,
Right, don't waste your time.
Trilogy. Yeah. Of the trilogy.
Trilogy.
It's not just one movie.
It's three.
Yeah,
so
if I hear anyone else say that the trilogy as a whole is not good, I have the back of my hand ready for you. Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I 100% agree. One of my favorite trilogies, one of my favorite villains, because he was so scary and just not acting like you're supposed to be acting. Yeah, just very like you're not right. Yeah, man.
It's off.
And none of his friends called him on it.
Right. Yeah, like in a world that is just unsettling overall. Like overall, it's not right. Yeah, you're the one not right in the not right world. Right. Yeah,
and you're the one that's supposed to be keeping order. In this orderly world, and you are not orderly. Yeah, you are a little bit off kilter, my friend. Right. And the other ones, they were like, I guess they didn't realize it. They're like, no, he's a program. He can't be crazy. Yeah. That program was crazy.
Right. And they're all scary, man. I don't want to run any agents.
True that.
Zero agents if I can help it.
Yeah, but Smith would enjoy killing you though. That's the bad thing. And you see the crazy because at first he's one of these scary gatekeepers, right? Wearing the sunglasses, emotionless. But when he has Anderson in the police station and Anderson gives him the finger and everything else in the world, and he's like, how are you going to talk without a mouth? He doesn't say that. I'm mad. I can't believe I don't remember the line right now. Yeah. He says, how are you going to talk without a mouth? And you can see it just a little bit, like a little bit of a grin in the corner of his mouth. It's so subtle, but you can tell he's enjoying it.
And you should be getting satisfaction.
You should be a computer program. You're a computer program, you dumb son of a.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Super scary.
Yeah, fantastic. Unsettling is the right word.
Unsettling.
But you can't look away though either. Yeah. And some of his long dialogue scenes are so good, man. Yeah. They're so delivery, but like what he's talking about also. Yeah. It's all great.
Yeah. When they were torturing Morbius. Spoilers.
If you haven't seen it by now, though.
Right, and he's like touching his head, and he's all, it's the smell.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about right now, dude? You are not supposed to be doing this. Right. It's almost like if you saw Arnold Schwarzenegger, like the Terminator, being all robotic, and then all of a sudden you see him acting crazy.
Start to crack a little bit.
Yeah, starting to crack. A little bit.
Because that's when he's like. Yeah, because he's talking about how he hates the Matrix.
Yeah, I need to get out of here. Yeah. I have to get out of here. And, and it's in your head. And he's like, he's going to kill him right now. Yeah. He's like squeezing his head.
I'm going to go and watch that now.
He gets the sweat off his head. And he sticks it up his nostrils.
Oh, my gosh.
It's the smell.
Yes. How do you even, you're a machine. How do you smell anything? What are you talking about? Yeah. Both performances in that scene were great for both of them. Yeah. Oh, man.
It's a great movie.
It's been a couple of years since I watched the trilogy. I think I'm going to have to give it another shot. But that's definitely my favorite. That's my list. That's my overall list. But yeah.
Okay, right on.
I think Agent Smith is my top for sure.
Yeah, I can dig it. All right. I'm going to fire through a couple more of mine. Let me bounce back over here, and here. Let's see. Okay, so I named a couple of animes. I named like Doomsday for American comics.
Oh yeah.
Another American comic that he's a villain that I think a lot of people know of, or some people know of. I think anyone that reads comics might know of him. Is from Marvel, Kraven the Hunter.
Oh yeah.
So he's not necessarily like one of those upper echelon heroes, but the crazy obsession that he had with hunting, capturing, killing Spider-Man was it was disturbing to me, because it seemed like it could be one of those things where Spider-Man could just be doing his thing or whatever, and then all of a sudden some sniper rifle is going to come out of nowhere. I felt like you had to be watching your back as Spider-Man all the time. I mean, granted, he's got his spider sense, but still, it's like walking out of the house. You feel like it's the day of the day. Is he out there? Is he somewhere? Kind of thing. I mean, he clearly never thought that way. He was just living his life, but he was very creepy. And I think what ultimately happened with him, and I don't remember, they might have changed some of the story here and there, but I believe he ends up, because he can't capture Spider-Man, he can't beat him, he ends up killing himself. Yeah, I think he puts a shotgun,
because I've invested kind of thing. Yeah. That's Kraven's last hunt, right?
Yeah. And here's what really made it creepy for me is I was reading a comic. This is again back in the 90s probably, when McFarlane was the artist.
Oh yeah.
And there was this thing where I can't remember if it was the Lizard was going after him, kind of thing. I don't remember, but I want to say the last panel of it, or it could have been something different. It was a long time ago, but Kraven is dead, and Spider-Man's getting hunted and tormented, and he looks up, and it's Kraven the Hunter standing over him, and he's got half of his head missing. Like somehow, I think I want to say he has some sort of connection with a sorceress. I think it was supposed to be like Circe from like Greek mythology kind of thing. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, the fact that he like came back to life in this creepy form was really weird to me.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really made me not like him, and this is like it was in the What If comic. What if Kraven the Hunter killed Spider-Man? And it was probably I don't know. I haven't read all the what ifs, and the what ifs are always very extreme. You know what I mean? It's like somebody, what if so-and-so went over here, went right, and so they went left. They went right, the whole world ends. There's always something like just over the top, because it didn't matter. You know what I mean? They could kill everybody and it didn't matter. Yeah. But this what if, the storyline of it was great. It was fantastic because he kills Spider-Man, but at this point he's married to Mary Jane. And Mary Jane's like, okay, I know he's Spider-Man. He'll be home, tonight or in the morning. Yeah. Day goes by. Okay, he'll be home later, I'm sure. Nothing. So days go by, and she does not know where Spider-Man is. And she's getting nervous, and she can't. And I think we've had this conversation before. I talked about it before. Yeah. She can't just, do a missing person thing or with the police. Maybe she could, but she doesn't have anywhere to really go to because she doesn't want to reveal his identity and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. And I think she eventually goes to the Fantastic Four, and I think she talks to Johnny Storm because she knows Storm and
they're buddies.
Yeah, they're friends. Yeah. I think they're technically both teenagers when they first came out. So
okay, yeah.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So and they showed like just this panel by panel, breakdown of like this realization coming over her. Like, he's gone. This isn't normal. This isn't right at all. I think the worst has happened, and she breaks down, and she's trying not to, obviously doesn't want to reveal the secret. She doesn't want to say anything to anybody. Yeah. But it's built up in her, the realization that he's not coming home, and I'm trying to keep a secret at the same time. And she breaks down and starts crying. And I think they end up, finding out that he died and all that kind of stuff. So it's
just depressing.
Yeah, super sad, super depressing. And I was like, effing Kraven.
Yeah,
Kraven the Hunter
walks out like nothing, like no big deal.
Yeah, but I remember they had a cartoon show called Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends back in the 80s. It was a great show with Firestorm and Iceman were his partners. Oh, okay. Or whatever. It was a really good show. And nice. Kraven the Hunter, popped in there a couple times. Just
gotcha.
What a jerk.
Yeah, being a real ass.
Yeah, being a real ass. Another. Oh, what do we have? Oh, okay. Another comic book. Marvel, Mr. Sinister.
Oh yeah.
This weird. guy that was into genetics with mutants trying to perfect mutants or perfect humanity kind of thing. And he looked like the devil.
Yeah.
He looked like
That's
Satan.
crazy.
Yeah, he had fangs and pale white skin and just really he looked like a vampire and Satan, had a child and it was him. And he was obsessed with Scott Summers and I think Jean Grey too, but mostly Scott Summers. Scott Summers was the only one that could hurt him with his optic blast. Yeah. Everything else, like he healed from it almost immediately, kind of thing. So I think he was just a danger to him. That might have been part of it too.
Oh, gotcha.
But and it turns out that I guess he made some sort of deal or Apocalypse came to him and Apocalypse kind of turned him into that weird freaky thing that he is now. And
gotcha.
Apocalypse kind of sent him on his way, like, hey, go do some genetic experiments. I don't know if he needed an army or what was going on, but super creepy. I mean, if you just look at him,
he looks creepy.
Yeah, he's weird.
His name's Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, his name is Mr. Sinister. Doesn't get any worse than that. Doesn't get any more sinister than that. Let's see. One more. This is a comic book. It's also a movie. Gideon Graves. What an effing jerk.
That is villain number 2 that I like to play. That type of villain. Yeah. I love Gideon Graves in the film and the comic book as well, but in the film, man. Yeah. I think Jason Schwartzman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, phenomenal actor.
Great. Yeah.
Perfect for that role.
Great job.
Yeah. I mean, he's just such a dick, man, but also like kind of likable. Like you see the charisma that he has.
You see the charisma.
Yeah. But he's kind of a douchebag. Too.
He is. Yeah. A douchebag is a good way to put it. Yeah. Because he seems like he's nice enough. Like if you talk to him briefly, it would be okay. I think if you were to hang around him for any length of time, you'd be like,
you really start.
Oh, this guy is a dick.
Yeah.
You can just tell the way he interacts with other people.
Right. Yeah.
Short doses you can take G-Man Graves, but
the G-Man.
G-Man.
Yeah, because you see him when you first meet him, you're like, oh, this guy's not so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's likable. He can't be that bad.
He can't be that bad. Then but we are talking about, if you don't know, Scott Pilgrim versus the World is the name of the movie, name of the comic book. Comic book's got a couple different titles with Scott Pilgrim in it, but the movie was fantastic. The movie is one of our favorites. I know we did a show on it.
Yeah. Went to go see the 10-year.
Yeah. At the 11th year. Yeah.
Oh, was that because of COVID?
Yeah.
Stupid COVID. Yeah.
But yeah, he's this. I don't even say he's Weasley because I mean, when it came time to fight,
you can fight too. Yeah.
The acoustics in here are awesome, or whatever he said, or amazing.
Get this man a drink. Get this man a drink. Coke Zero?
Yeah.
How does he know? Like, all that stuff, yeah.
And then when he's like, he's getting ready to leave with her, he's got her, and he's in the limo, and he pops back out. Oh, hey, man, sorry about the evil exes, or whatever.
That's a really dark place.
He's such an effing jerk. Well, watch that movie, man. If you haven't, watch that movie.
I have to watch it a few times a year at least.
Yeah.
I have kind of a hankering for it for a lot of different reasons too. Like there's a lot of different reasons why, a lot of different parts that I like. If I feel like I want music or fighting
music's
or comedy
fantastic.
or anything like that, I can watch it for that.
Right.
So
one of the favorites.
G-Man
and
Graves,
he's such a jerk. He's not even. He's just a jerk. I don't know what to tell you. He's a jerk. Another great villain was, and I'm just gonna do a blanket statement here. In the Game of Thrones, the Lannisters. I'm talking about Joffrey, Cersei, and I can't think of the father's name right now. It doesn't matter. You know who I'm talking about if you've seen the show.
Those guys.
Yeah, those guys. The Lannisters. The only good Lannister was Jaime, and even he was a little effed up. Well, a lot effed up, but he tried to redeem himself as time went by. But yeah, it was the 3 of them really. Joffrey was just he was nuts. He was a child. Essentially he was like a little sociopath. And then he was given the keys to the kingdom. He was literally made the king of the 7 kingdoms. What'd you say? Lannisteria? Shut up. Don't talk right now, please. You don't have to talk all the time. Sometimes just listen. Sometimes just Lannisteria. But yeah, he's the king of the Seven Kingdoms. He's I don't know if
Is he a little blonde kid?
He's a little blonde kid.
Yeah. Snot nosed asshole kid.
Yeah. And then he gets older and he's just worse. He treats everybody like garbage. He thinks everything he does is right. He was a bad kid even before he became king. You know, it's so hard to get into everything that he did wrong or just not even wrong, just evil. Think that he did that were just terrible.
Yeah.
Common sense would have been, you know, when the time came to send, you know, what's his face, instead of cutting off his head, send him to the wall, let him take the oath to, you know, renounce all the things he said and just go into isolation. But he said, no, I'm going to kill you instead. And then he ends up sparking a war that the whole show ultimately is based on. So it's really hard to get into everything. But this kid, like every time you saw him, and the mom too, is like they're people that you love to hate. I mean, they're just that good at that role though too. Okay. So props to them. Cersei Lannister was, I mean, as bad as Joffrey was, she was probably worse, which is mind blowing. Mind blowing.
Yeah.
Towards the end of it, I can't remember which season it was, but she basically she ends up killing like all of her enemies.
Oh wow.
It's really hard to get into everything because it deserves like its own show kind of thing. But I'm just going to leave it at that for the people that have seen the show. I just want you to know that, yes, the Lannisters, most of them.
Lannisteria.
Yeah. Lannisteria. Tywin, that was his name. Tywin was the father. Tywin, yes.
Also a piece of shit.
Also a piece of shit. Also, dishonest piece of shit.
He in that show.
He basically treated his youngest son, Tyrion, like crap because he was always messing with, you know, whores and prostitutes and just, you know, living his life. He was very smart. He did his stuff, but he was, you know, getting with women. So the last one that Tyrion actually loved was Tyrion goes on trial and the woman he loved is brought out and she starts making up all these lies about him. And it's like, where is this coming from? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
He ends up getting away. He goes to confront his father in the middle of the night, and he sees her in his bed. The woman that he loves, that they're supposed to be putting life together, that seemed like she was very loyal to him.
Yeah.
And what I would guess probably happened is once Tyrion went to jail, it was like, you know what, he's not coming back. You can either, you know, do what I tell you and get a lot of money.
Yeah.
Or I can probably you can be on your way and I'm going to probably have you killed, you know, before you get, you know, down the street. Yeah. So she probably made a deal she, you know, had to make. I'm guessing, I'm hoping, but anyways, yeah, it's a whole messed up story. And yeah, Tywin was a piece of crap too. So yeah, just shout out to the Lannisters.
All right.
Shout out to the Lannisters.
Very nice.
And the Dursleys.
Oh, that's a good one. There's
the Dursleys, they're jerks too.
I'm wearing my Death Eater shirt.
Is that a Death Eater shirt? Okay, yeah, I was wondering with the snake up there. Okay.
Really the only villain shirt I have.
Okay, yeah. Nice.
But yeah, I thought I'd wear something. But yeah, it's related to that.
Okay,
right?
yeah, that's different. Okay, I see it now. It's not quite the Death Eater symbol, but it's kind of like with the skull and the snake. Oh, okay, I see what you're doing there.
It might be the sketch out of the book or something. Or
interesting.
Yeah, maybe.
Well done.
I got it from
got it from somewhere.
I got it from I went to see the play.
Okay. Oh, right.
Yeah. The Cursed Child. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Cool. Is that it for our villains then?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
If you got some villains.
Yeah. Shoot us a message or something.
Yeah. Or a comment or something. Yeah. Just name some of your favorite
let us know who some of your favorite
villains. Yeah. Who do you hate?
Because, hate to love.
Yeah. And love to hate. All that stuff.
Yeah. And what do you guys' thoughts on our favorite villains?
Yes.
Were
they good? Are they right? Are they wrong? It's like, no.
Are we right or wrong? What do you mean? That's just who our favorites are.
Right. Yeah. Like, you can still weigh in on that.
Yeah.
No, Doomsday was misunderstood.
Yeah, definitely. Before we wrap up, anything we're going to do this week?
Let's see. Into this week, I did watch the original Hobbit. Came out in the animated one. Yeah. There might have been another one that came out, but no, I take that back. I think that was the first one. Came out in like 77, I want to say. I remember seeing it as a kid. They have it on Max, aka HBO Max or whatever. I don't know why they don't have the other ones. The Fellowship and Lord of the Rings. I think they made at least 2 other ones.
Oh wow.
I don't know why they're not on Max. Max, you need to get your shit figured out.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you watch that, you want to watch the next one, and it's not there. So stop being stupid.
Dummies.
You big poops.
Really great rebrand, guys.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Thanks for nothing. But it was cool to watch though. You kind of see the elements from the original, or I shouldn't say the original, from the Hobbit movie that came out a few years ago. So it was cool.
Nice.
Watched a little bit of Buffy. Still watching Buffy.
Oh, very good.
Great.
Still great.
So it's still great.
Nice.
Came out in the 90s. Early 2000s. Yeah, and man, the show still holds up.
Nice.
I can't think of that many 90s shows that hold up as well as this one. You can sit down and watch it and just be completely engrossed by it. So yeah, good stuff.
Cool.
Good stuff. What about you, man?
I watched Clerks again.
Okay.
First Clerks, I've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
Watched again in light of the stuff we're working on.
Right on.
I wanted to get some inspiration, so
Cool,
I watched Clerks. I kind of started watching Clerks 2 again, which I think is actually a funnier movie overall, but not quite great for the reasons the first one was.
Gotcha.
So I watched the first one, and a couple minutes of the second one, maybe 20 minutes of the second one, which is great. And then still watching Always Sunny, trying to catch up to the newly released season that just came out a couple days ago. So
Yeah. I think I got a bunch of them recorded.
Nice.
I don't know. They dropped like a few episodes.
They dropped 3 in the first day.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 2, and then 3 came out actually.
Yeah. I saw that. It's like that's a lot. Okay.
Yeah. And it's probably only like 10 or 12 episodes maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, they're usually pretty short. I'm still on like season 11. It's getting pretty hard to watch because this is the point where I didn't like the show anymore.
And they're still doing the same stuff. A lot of the
Um,
PC, whatever.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's where you really start to see it change kind of a lot. It has some stuff that's cool, but overall, it's not really as funny as it was in the past too. So I'm hoping maybe these newer ones, because they got some of the older writers from previous seasons back on the show this season. So maybe be good, but we'll see.
All right, cool. That's before the writer's strike. So nice.
Oh, that's true. Exactly. Yeah, good timing.
Good timing.
For sure. I guess that's gonna be it, huh?
That's it, man.
Yeah, we done it. We bookended it. We did it.
Yeah,
we came through. We told you guys we were gonna do it. We came through.
And we did it.
So you're
Everyone
welcome.
that was holding their breath.
Yeah, sorry. Hopefully you're still
still with us.
Yeah, still with us. Yeah.
Who are your favorite villains?
Yeah. We are. Yeah. Otherwise, that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in as always every week. It's a big deal for us. We really appreciate it. We love doing this.
Yeah, we do.
Love that you guys are enjoying it. And if you can, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a rating on Spotify, and check us out on any of those streaming sites that you like. We're on pretty much all of them.
Yep. Drop a comment.
Yeah, drop a comment. Yeah, let us know what you think. And then we're also on YouTube. Reels come out on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Reels, Shorts, all the different ones.
All the places.
All different
names.
things. Yeah, and you can find us pretty much anywhere. There's really not a lot of places you can't find us.
Yeah.
So it sounds like now. Anyway, I guess then we're done.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, my name's Trent.
And my name is Marc.
And this has been
Geek Off the Street. I was going to do it, but I didn't.
Oh, yeah. I was waiting for it.
You're waiting for it, huh?
Yeah, I was waiting for it.